Okay, so we're just going to look at, first of all, our overhead range of motion test. So what I would suggest you do with this one is, similar to your wall angel, but I want you to get yourself to the wall. Okay, we'll do it standing. And then from there, what I'd like to see is your feet come about a foot in front of the wall. Okay, you ensure that your spine is flat to the wall. So from the bum all the way down to the head, we're looking for a nice and flat to the wall. Okay, nice and flush. There's no gaps. And then from that position, we're just going to simply raise our arms overhead, and the measure is to see if we can touch our thumbs to the wall. Okay, so as we're doing that, we're trying to make sure our arms stay straight. We're trying to make sure our head stays in the same position. Okay, so it's not poking forwards, and we're trying to keep our back completely flat to the wall, so there's no gaps opening up. Okay, so just to go over that again, arms straight, thumbs to the wall, arms close to the ears. Okay, so we almost hug the ears, and we're trying to keep our back flat to the wall. If you can do all that and it looks like this video, or even better potentially, and it's relatively comfortable up there, then you've passed this screen. Okay, and that's great. You don't necessarily need to work too much on overhead range of motion. If you feel particularly tight on a day, come in, try the test, yeah. But for the most part, you're probably not going to struggle with that overhead position required for a handstand. If you fail this screen, this is when the relevance of the thoracic test, which I'm now going to show you, comes in. So again, here we have our feet as shown, a foot in front of the wall. Okay, slight bend in the knees, we get the pelvis, the spine, all flat to the wall. I'm moving my arms out here so that you can see what's going on. There's no space there. And then from here, the simple task is to try and draw the chin towards the wall. And you'll see there, the gap between the neck and the wall closes down dramatically, which is one measure of that your thoracic extension is okay, is good enough. And then the second thing you can see there, which I use my hand to sort of show you, is that the line between the ear and the eye is parallel or below. So I'm talking about the center of the ear. My ear anatomy is not great, but the center of the ear hole, and from that angle to the eye, it should be parallel or below. The eye should be below the ear. Okay, if the eye's above, then you failed this test. Okay, and there's lots of space between the neck. That's another way of showing it, between the neck and the wall. Another way of showing that you failed this test, and you need to work on your thoracic extension in order to improve your function overhead. So this test is going to show you, first of all, do you have adequate thoracic extension? If you fail the test for the overhead screen, it could be typically either thoracic or lat. So if you're failing this one, it's likely that thoracic needs to be addressed, or it means that thoracic needs to be addressed. And then in order to test whether or not it's improving with the range of motion exercises that you do, thoracic extension range of motion exercises that you do, then you can use this test to retest and see if it's actually improving. Okay, so I would suggest doing this test pretty regularly. Range of motion should adapt quite quick. But yeah, like I said, if you pass the screen and you can lift your arms overhead as shown with the parameters discussed, then you don't need to necessarily be doing this, and you can maybe check in with it ever so often if you feel particularly tight. But if you can do that, you've got the necessary capacity in terms of range of motion to be able to handstand. So yeah, if not, do this test, see what happens, and then you can decide whether or not this is the issue and whether or not you need to work on thoracic extension exercises that have been prescribed.